welcome to Week 6, Day 2 of the HCS Pro League. I'm Elamite, and joining with me today at the Xfinity desk, I have none other than Tom T-Squared Taylor.
Kyle, some super exciting matches yesterday, but today is not going to disappoint because we have some matches that really mean so much because the HCS Summer Pro League is coming to a conclusion pretty shortly here.
And let's take a look at exactly how these teams and the format of what we're looking at with the HCS Pro League. Of course, we did have the top 8 North American teams that qualified for the league, and all of these teams will play each other twice during the regular season. With the top 4 teams then advancing to the season finals, 5th and 6th will have their spot guaranteed for next season, but 7th and 8th place teams will fall down to relegation and have to play against the open circuit teams.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the standings because 7th and 8th seem to be a lock for Optic Gaming and Team Liquid, but it's no surprise Counter Logic Gaming in first place with that 10-1 record. Team Envious at 8-3. E6 Enigma 6, 8-3 as well. Renegades 6-5 in 4th place after that big win against Evil Geniuses yesterday in our match of the week. And then Allegiance 5-6 in 5th place. 6th place Evil Geniuses not eliminated yet. Everyone kind of fighting for that top 4 spots and rounding out the top 8 Optic Gaming and Team Liquid.
And this is not how I saw the standings breaking down this late into the season. Let's take a look at tonight's matches and pick up right where we left off yesterday. Today, we've got Team Liquid going up against Evil Geniuses, so another must-win for Evil Geniuses here. Optic Gaming will then take on Counter Logic Gaming, Enigma 6 versus Allegiance, and then another really exciting match can't wait to see, Team Envious versus Renegades.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all these matches today, but let's talk a little bit about Evil Geniuses because they're in this first match, Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. Obviously, Lunchbox there on your screen. You have Roy, you have Snipedown, you have Suspector, and these guys took a really rough loss 3-1 yesterday against Renegades. What are they going to have to do to bounce back today?
They have to make sure they are bringing their A game. We talked about how important it was for them to win yesterday. Well, at this point here, you're going up against Team Liquid, the 8th seeded team. You have to win this game, and you have to do it in a convincing fashion. There is a lot on the line for these guys, and they need to come out and prove it here.
Yeah, if you want to say yesterday was a must-win, today is a must-win. So, you know,
who's must squared.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm not that musty up here, but the thing is you know who is on their A game? E6, Enigma 6 is looking so strong. We had that interview with Hugh yesterday. He was talking about how Kratos is the out-of-game leader, but you also have Shooter, who's the in-game leader, kind of one of the more underrated players, kind of like how Victory X was throughout his entire Halo career.
That's a really good point that you bring up as well. I mean, I had the honor of coaching Shooter in Halo 2 Anniversary, and he's done amazing things. He's always an extremely skilled player, and it's awesome to see him having the opportunity to come out and prove himself. And this is the longest active winning streak here now in the Pro League once E6 took down Counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah, and Hugh kind of coming out of nowhere, all these rising stars that are coming up, that's because the open circuit is so competitive. And if you guys want to get in the open circuit, you still have a chance, but the battle in the trenches is taking place. Optic and Liquid Gaming, definitely 7th and 8th, looking to go into relegations coming up pretty shortly. But this Sunday is the championships for the Open. The final 2 teams, the 2 teams in the finals, I believe will be going into that relegation match, and you have a lot of good teams in there.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we saw players, extremely talented players that had come out and been an impact on these pro teams competing in the regular season as it is, and now their squad together here in the open circuit, they're coming out to prove they know that they can compete at the highest level.
Yeah, you have Elevate, you have Denial, you have Only Good Online, New Era, all of these guys looking so strong. I guess the real question is who's going to step up and try to take down Elevate or Denial because they've been going back and forth when it comes to these wins in the Legendary bracket.
And we touched based on it yesterday, but after tonight's show, we will have the first Skype Q&A in the arena, and that's going to be featuring none other than Maniac. So you're going to be able to join the chat there by adding Gaming with Skype to your contacts. You'll be able to submit questions there and interact with Maniac and get a behind-the-scenes look at him and the rest of the Optic squad and what they're doing in the regular season here. And big shout out to Maniac there for taking time out of his Friday night to hang out after the show and actually participate and interact with all the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool thing that he's doing, and there are a lot of questions that Optic Gaming needs to answer, but the thing is they need to step it up, and they need to play well today to show these guys in that open bracket, coming from the Legendary bracket, that they're a force to be reckoned with.
You said it perfectly. Not only that, but it'd be much nicer to go into a Q&A after a win.
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially on your Friday night.
Exactly. And of course, for any kind of news, standings, schedules, and any other intel you may be looking for, make sure you head over to halo.gg. You'll be able to find all that information there. Nice little central hub here for all things Halo.
Yeah, and if you guys want to touch base with us, hit us up at ESL Halo. Use the hashtag HCS and at HCS. We'll be keeping track of all of your comments. Such great feedback yesterday. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the matches, but we have a lot more intense matches to come.
And not only that, another big shout out to Jinx, as once again, we will be giving away some shirts, hoodies, and even lanyards here brought on by Jinx. Of course, you can sign up for that at esl.gg/HCSNA Week 6.
Swag. That guy on the left has an awesome goatee.
And yeah, everything up there is for sale, or for giveaway, excuse me, except for that guy's goatee. I'm sure he's going to be hanging on to that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got some of the stuff in the MCC time. I think they gave us 3 of those shirts and a handful of other things, and those shirts are comfy, not going to lie.
I don't have one, but that is definitely something I'm going to be looking at. Jinx, if you are listening, Elamite did not get a care package.
It's because he wasn't there.
This is true. But anyways, it's not about us. It's not about who got what. It's about the matches, and we've got some exciting ones in store. First match of the night is going to be Team Liquid going up against Evil Geniuses here tonight.
Yeah, Team Liquid, again, another underdog. They are in last place, but they put up a good fight against CLG. That's probably why it was in your head, because yesterday they go down 2-0. Denoxide coming out with the goose, only 3 kills in game number 2, still waking up, getting the coal out of his eyes. Has he woke up? Has he prepared? Are these guys ready to go and take Evil Geniuses? Both of these teams lost yesterday. They're definitely going to be battling out because they want to get some sort of momentum. And as I was talking about, there may be team changes setting in here. Maybe they're not as confident in one another, and a win is a way to get that momentum on your side and to start building that trust and that confidence that you need to continue on in this pro league.
And like you said, both of these teams did pick up a loss here yesterday, and going into the weekend, definitely want to end it on a good note with a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So, of course, let's take a look at Team Liquid, the squad here. We've got Spartan, we've got Denoxide, we've got Stellar, and, of course, Eco as well.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the side of Evil Geniuses, the team that they're going up against. It's going to be Snipe Down, Lunchbox, Roy, and Suspector. Now we saw Snipe Down yesterday. He kind of got outplayed more than we've actually seen him, in a really long time. He's always been the player to outplay everybody, and the thing is he going to be able to step it up and show his true form today? Because he's the #1 fantasy HCS player in the entire league.
He always has really
number two.
Yeah, right, exactly. So he always has really impressive stats. Let's take a look at him a little bit more in depth here. And of course, he did play well, but there were a couple moments, one by Ninja, another one by Commonly, where he absolutely got embarrassed. There's really not any other way you could put it. And that is something extremely uncharacteristic of him. And even though he had good stats, when I look at the plays, I don't look at just the stats. Stats don't mean anything to me. I want to look at damage dealt.
Right.
I want to look at assists. I want to look at the game and watch the player themselves. And if you have missed opportunities, doesn't matter if you went 18-10, I look at it as you should have gone 20-10.
Yeah, I mean, the captain of the team, we know that he can slay. We know that he goes and takes the angles, and he kind of makes the game look easy, which is actually a really hard thing to do. The question is can he, excel in the objective game? We saw a couple times yesterday where he wasn't on top of the objective like he needed to be. So let's take a look at the game types and see what 5 games these teams are potentially playing, starting off with Plaza Strongholds, going into Slayer Coliseum. Game number 3 would be Coliseum CTF. Game number 4, Eden Strongholds. And if it goes to game 5, that will be the Rig Slayer. And what I'm looking for here is we saw Team Liquid look really strong in CTF on Truth yesterday against CLG. They're obviously really good when it comes to, CTF in general. So if I'm Liquid from a strategic standpoint, I'm looking to take one of these first 2 games, especially, because I think that I'm going to possibly win this game number 3.
And we do have the players ready, getting started here for game number 1. And this is going to be a really intense battle because, a couple weeks ago, I would have said Liquid has no chance of beating Evil Geniuses. But after what we've seen recently, I'd say they stand a really good chance of taking these guys down here today. Plaza on Strongholds, both of these teams have a losing record. So easily anybody's game.
Yeah, and the camo has been moved down from that lift over to top center. No more railgun here. I'm curious to see how everyone's going to play this one out. Looks like Roy's going to make his way towards that nest. Doesn't look like, oh, he does have a teammate there behind him, takes Spartan down to no shield. So it looks like they are going to double cap this nest, which is the priority hill. So I like this play coming out from EG right to start.
Yeah, and it looks like Roy ran right past that BR that spawns near Hotel and then gets it up to Snipe Down. He does pick up a quick kill. The bottom middle hill did go in favor of Team Liquid, but Evil Genius is quickly looking to take this one back.
Yeah, if you're EG, you're happy that you got the nest. At the same time, you do want to kind of contest bottom mid, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a problem for them because other players on Team Liquid went over towards the yard. So if I was Team Liquid, that's a little bit of a mistake. You didn't really have to capture the yard right there. It looks like that was the Noxide's decision. So if I was him, I probably would have fought bottom middle and tried to contain bottom middle, make sure that Evil Geniuses doesn't take that because that's their key. Now they're kind of forced over to fight on this nest right off their spawn, and it seems like EG knows where they are, but they're going to elect to go for this yard and bottom middle setup, and they're getting the slays as well. So questionable rotations coming out from EG, and now a triple cap from Team Liquid.
And that was perfectly played by Liquid. Evil Genius is missing a good opportunity to really capture some control to start this one off. Got a 1v1 between Eco and Snipe Down. Looks like there will be some help coming in from both players. He ends up getting taken out as well. Stellar then drops. But still, control in favor of Liquid, and Tyler or Spartan hiding bottom center, just waiting for an opportunity to contest. He also drops. Denoxide needs to pick up a couple kills here, missing a few shots to get this one started, though.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at least contesting it here and staying alive on the Prius. Looks like he has some backup, but there's too many players for EG there, and they are caught on the Prius, but they also get the reset. So bottom mid and nest setup, really great for Team Liquid. They're going to be able to continue to cap here. Camo's coming up in about, I'd say, 20 seconds. So whoever gets this camo should have a huge advantage, but it looks like Team Liquid left nest for some reason and decides to go for yard. So some pretty questionable rotations coming out, but either way, Team Liquid will be able to hold what I like to call this poor man setup here. It's going to be yard and bottom middle. You know Spartan's going to have to rotate immediately to try to help for this camo and keep Evil Geniuses out of bottom middle.
He does have the plasma pistol, however, and that could be an absolutely game-changing weapon combination here. That hill does quickly go in the favor of EG, but Spartan hitting that charged up plasma pistol on Snipe Down.
Yeah, but what's really unfortunate for Team Liquid fans is 3 players just died. Camo just dropped. I think that camo is going to be at about 940. So someone from Evil Geniuses is going to be able to pick that one up. That's going to be Roy. So Roy doing some work with the camo is going to sneak around, grabs the battle rifle, and is just going to make his way over on these players with the storm rifle at the same time. So they're adding a lot of pressure over here towards the yard. I wouldn't really challenge this, so I like that play coming out from Roy. There's no reason to overextend when you have the capture. I don't even know if he needed to drop so early, but it looks like he wants this player here. That's going to be Eco. Now he's fighting another player over at the Prius. That's going to be Spartan. That's a double for Roy. That's 3 players down for the side of Liquid. So all in all, that camo proving really useful for Roy.
And looked like Liquid had no idea he was even there. You see Eco, the hill was being contested, so you know that there's a member of Evil Geniuses sitting there contesting that. They didn't see anyone right away, so you have to automatically assume that it's going to be Camo Guy. You need to be watching your back.
Yeah, and I like what EG's doing. The thing is they need to make sure that they're anchoring because they're going to potentially give up spawns over there towards maybe the lift or over there, but it looks like everyone's spawning over in yard, so EG is safe. They're going to continue to add pressure. Roy in a really prime position here. There's a player to his left that did spot him out, however, he does have the storm rifle, so advantage to Roy in that fight. Some really nice shots. Spartan picking up a shotgun kill on Suspector in the kill feed, and it looks like the charge over towards Loop is starting to come, so Roy playing this pretty much perfectly so far, just constantly dropping, and he finally gets taken out.
And that was well played by Roy. He had that camo the entire time, used it to the extent of it essentially running out on him. You do have Suspector now grabbing Hill, so they still have somewhat of control, but nobody in nest area to try and contest that. And bottom mid already going in favor of Liquid as well. They need to make sure they pick up a kill here before they start going for the hill. Yeah,
the thing that worries me is I see so many players going over towards yard, and it's also like, why isn't Liquid technically, stopping this bottom middle push? It's a pretty easy push to stop. Camo is coming up pretty soon, but either way, EG in pretty good position. Eco trying to fight Snipe down bottom middle. He's going to have Suspector spawning to help him pretty shortly, and that camo should be up. So it's really important that EG gets the slays that they need in order to get the map control to try to take this triple cap potentially.
And that was Snipe Down with a clutch stronghold reset there, but still bottom mid is going in favor of Evil Geniuses. You got Lunchbox running around top center. Stellar's on a flank here and dip, but gets behind. Ooh, goes for the ninja, not able to pull it off there on Snipe Down, and this is just constant back and forth yard capturing. I feel like as soon as bottom mid goes in favor of one team, they immediately send players to yard, and I feel like both of these teams are almost doing that too much.
There's way too much yard rotations. Everyone needs to be aware that snipe for control, holding loop, not pushing into yard, because that's the weakest part on the map. You can really get trapped over there. So I'm curious to see why all these players are constantly pushing over there, and it kind of leaves Liquid in a little bit of a sticky situation, because now Denoxide has to pretty much get this kill. He trades, but he needed to actually stay alive there, because even if you trade kills, that's not something that you want when Evil Geniuses is capturing and the game is only to 100 points, and they have 60 at this point.
But that was a decent trade. You had the SMG going up against the Storm Rifle, so pretty, even 1v1 fight. Stellar, he does have the Hydra Launcher right now, so take a look at his screen, and if he's able to hit any of these shots here, we're just going for the random shots, not locking on anyone, but it seems to be working out. Picks up another kill there. That bottom mid is still being contested, so we really need some members of Team Liquid to come help him out.
Yeah, and the thing is EG, as long as they play this smart and just watch loot the rest of the game, there's no reason for them to contest the hill over, or the stronghold over in yard, and I think they're finally realizing that. They don't really have to press it, they just need to contest this bottom middle, and you do so by getting the height advantage, and that's exactly what Roy's doing. However, Team Liquid able to sneak that one, and the stronghold's just bouncing back and forth. This game's been back and forth so far.
But Hydra still in hands of Stellar, so he's going to go take this top gold, see what angles he can get, but bottom mid quickly going to Evil Geniuses as well. Both these teams know the only real way to get that bottom mid is to stack players down there and get an insta cap almost.
And that's a pretty big sneaky kill coming out from Snipe Down. He's going to be able to pick up a double from that, which means that they're going to be also able to secure the camo. So that means that whoever gets this camo, as long as they play this correctly, they should be able to close this game out, because Liquid's probably going to only have 1 or 2 pushes. Looks like Roy's going to get pretty aggressive on here and pick up a double kill. That's just going to mean that Evil Geniuses is going to be able to now push up on this triple cap. So if they get this triple cap, it's almost going to be impossible for Team Liquid to actually come back, because they have 0 map control, and once you get 3 points, you're just capturing so much faster than when you have 2.
And that was the first time that we really saw a well-coordinated push into yard here by Evil Geniuses, and it worked out in their favor. They picked up several additional kills, bought a lot of time here, and forces Team Liquid to first go back and try to capture yard.
Yeah, and Liquid with only 1 more push, but the thing is Snipe Down's playing this correctly now that he knows if they have to go for bottom middle, it doesn't really matter, because he can just capture yard and they'd still win. So he could have just finished that one off. Doesn't matter though. It looks like Evil Geniuses is going to be able to take this game, first game, 1-0 in the series.
And that was a pretty convincing victory. I had a couple, question marks with some of those rotations, but ultimately Evil Geniuses kept doing what they were doing all game long and pushing on that hill, and eventually worked out really well in their favor for that triple cap.
Yeah, Liquid had their opportunities. It's just that they ended up pushing over to yard and making the same mistakes that actually EG was making, but we didn't see until EG actually used the numbers advantage correctly, which they always praise and preach in their scrims. They finally were able to get that double kill like you were saying, and had their first coordinated push that resulted in a triple cap, and that resulted in that 100-40 finish.
And look who is playing extremely well here today. Big improvement from yesterday. Not that he played bad by any means, but coming out strong. 7 captures, 18 kills, leading the pack on both objective and slaying. So Roy, big props to him here.
Yeah, you made a really good point, is that Roy uses entire camouflage, and that's what's huge, is anytime you get the camouflage in a strongholds and you have control, all you have to do is play really patient with that, and that is a really good sign for Evil Geniuses that Roy Borg has his shot on, playing really smart, and actually slaying while getting the objective. So, going through the rest of the kills, 9, 17, 15, there's no real big difference there. Lunchbox probably had a ton of assists, but again, Liquid, all they had to do was just capitalize on the couple mistakes that Evil Geniuses was making, but they also have to be on top of these camos, because I don't recall them ever really picking up a camouflage or at least doing anything with it.
That is a good point that you bring up as well. Evil Geniuses was clearly on top of that Towie, right behind them all together, focusing on that objective, and just overall pretty solid and consistent play from them.
Yeah, and the thing is Liquid, like I was saying, they have to take one of these first 2 games. Losing Slayer or losing Plaza Strongholds means that this Team Slayer Coliseum game coming up pretty much doubles in importance. You don't want to go down 2-0 from Evil Geniuses, but the thing is EG looking like a team that is coming out really strong, and that's a really important statement because, like I was saying, they're already on the ropes, so they don't want to get themselves stuck in a corner and be a punching bag for Team Liquid, who is a heavy underdog already going into this series.
And Roy, he really had Cafe and Flowers, those two locations on the map, locked down. He was constantly able to grab kills and then drop down bottom mid almost instantly whenever that was the focus of Team Liquid. So that's why he excelled so well. We talked about players have success on different parts of the map, whether or not Royal 2's hiding in cave or hotel. See a lot of that from Snakebite. That was clearly where Roy is really comfortable.
And one of the things that Liquid really specializes in is individual skill, and that's where you can really shine in a Slayer Coliseum game. We saw L-Town yesterday really carrying his team, carrying Team Envy against Team Allegiance, going, I believe, 21-6. So if this is the opportunity for Team Liquid to shine, someone's going to have to really step up and at least drop over 18 kills in this Slayer game if they want to stand a chance, in my opinion, against EG.
And who, Tom, on Team Liquid are you looking at to step up and put down those kind of numbers?
I would say Spartan. I think Spartan is definitely, the emotional leader when it comes to this team. If he's into it and they're doing hot, then I expect them to kind of get the momentum based off how he's playing. So I'd really like to see what he's doing in the beginning of this game.
Good deal. So let's go ahead. The players are ready. Jump into Slayer on Coliseum. Of course, 50 kills to win. For anyone new tuning into the broadcast here, the map has changed a little bit since the Halo World Championships. There's a lot more protection and cover, especially top rockets, including that carbine and whatnot. You said you want to take a look at Sparring to kick things off with. We will go ahead and see through his eyes and whether or not he's going to be the X factor for Team Liquid to step this up and put down some big slaying numbers.
Yeah, and it looks like he's making his way towards Snipe. Going to bounce that nade off and blow it back, trying to get that combat evolved, which means the sniper is going to be sitting there in the cave. Looks like he's looking for it. I'm not sure if it actually got blown over there. There it is. So he grabs that sniper, makes his way over towards the flag. Sees a couple people over towards the snipe side. May want to kind of back down, but fortunately knows that guy that is there crouching. That's going to be Suspector. Is he going to get the kill? He does. So Spartan with some really nice reflexes, also landing that shot means Suspector had to run away. So I really like that play, and this is exactly what Team Liquid needs. 3-1 with the power weapon control to start the game.
And Spartan doing pretty well so far, at least holding down the lead and taking the sniper to where generally is considered the most effective area on the map. Of course, if you're looking at the kill feed, Liquid also has rockets and scattershot. Both of those are going to be in the hands of Eco. Now, kind of play out here. Hopefully we see some nice headshots. I just want to point out a factor for anyone else watching. Combat evolved. What Tom means by that is that in the first Halo CE, you can nade weapons across the map or nade them to yourself if you place it well enough. That is combat evolved.
Yeah, and what Evil Geniuses is doing a really good job here of is trying to split up, but the thing is Team Liquid's on top of it. They are aware that they are splitting the map, that they're on both sides. Suspector does get that kill onto Spartan, so that's really nice. He even gets the double kill, so let's switch on over to Suspector and see what he's doing. That was a huge flank, and I was talking about that yesterday, how if you're stuck inside one base, you want to try to flip the spawns and try to charge over towards that scatter shot area, because snipers like to sit there by the elbow, so it's really frustrating when you have someone that's charging bottom middle towards you, and you need to have eyes on that. Either way, though, Liquid able to stop that attack and take down Suspector, so Evil Genius is not communicating like they need to help out their sniper.
And it looks like Spartan will pick up that sniper once again. Now, it looks like there isn't too much action. Take a quick look at the stats. You can see Eco going off to get this one started with that rocket scatter shot. 6-1 already as far as stats go, and a 15-5 lead in favor of Liquid. This is not something I was expecting to see, especially after EG just came out so strong in game one.
Well, that's what you got to worry about when you're playing against some of the best teams, in the world, is they're really good at brushing off a loss, and it's good that Liquid is doing so. The thing is are they going to be able to stop any sort of push coming out from EG? But they're just kind of snowballing this one, and they're really on top of the spawns. So, Roy having a completely different performance, but the thing is there's really nothing that you can do when your teammates are just dying everywhere, and Liquid almost playing this one. It feels like we're watching CLG at this moment.
19-6, and they just collapsed onto blue base and picked up 3 for 0, kind of matchup there. So 20-8 now at this point. Team Liquid is hot right now.
Yeah, and the thing is Spartan's rotating towards the back of the flag, which also is a really nice spot to snipe. It's almost like when you played Narrows in Halo 3 and the guy kind of sat in the backstage and would just snipe. It's a really hard area to hit because it's such a long range across across the map. He didn't even have to rotate there, but wasn't expecting Roy to come around the corner with the carbine. That could be the momentum that EG needs to try to bring this game back. So I really like that play from Roy.
And Tom, you were always that guy hiding in the back of the base with the sniper, weren't you?
No, it wasn't me. That was Snipe Dad.
And right now we have one shot left in the hands of Roy. I've always said I'm the self-proclaimed best last shot sniper in the game. Doesn't matter if I miss every shot in the chamber. I will hit that last shot each time. Let's see what Roy can do here.
Looks like Roy's going to just select to push with his BR, which isn't a bad play considering your teammates need help. And I like that he realized that the rocket side of the map was uncovered by anybody, and he has 2 long-range weapons, so he can just push up there with the snipe or the battle rifle. But he needs to communicate whoever's sniping right below him that we have 2 snipers in the same area, so it's best to spread out. I would almost like to see him hurry up and try to get this last shot off, because he's not really adding the necessary pressure that he needs, and the sniper also died. So that was the Spectre. Looks like he's going to try to pick up that ammo, but I would like to see one of those guys rotate, because rockets are coming up. You just need to take different angles and spread out.
And it looks like no one had been in position to grab that new one. Of course, rockets extremely effective on this map. Roy did drop that snipers out of ammo, and now he's running to his teammates with these rockets in case, hey guys, if I die here, rockets are going to be down on my X. Now that they have snipe control, he spots a player here. Spartan has no idea that he's
fell
there.
Off the map. That's going to be bad. Now the game's almost tied.
And wow, you are right. I cannot believe the swing that we just saw. It was 20-8 at one point in this game. And now Roy and the rest of Evil Geniuses is literally putting Team Liquid on spot.
That was a big play to kill the rocket guy and try to stop the momentum from EG. But I really look at that double kill that Roy got with the carbine when Spartan went towards the elbow. And like I was saying, Liquid needs to be ready for if they don't continue to snowball this, and if they make a mistake, they need to be ready to capitalize, or they need to be ready to stop whatever EG is doing to try to capitalize. They need to weather the storm and put out the fire, because EG is now just going to continue to snowball this one with the weapons, and now they're really feeling it.
And that really kind of is a testament to how good Evil Geniuses is to be down that much, but yet still be able to easily close the gap and bring this one back here. Snipe Down wisely backing off, doesn't want to die here in this situation when he's got teammates all around him. Looks like Suspector does still have the sniper and ammo, so let's see how he is shooting here today, whether or not he's hitting any of these headshots.
Yeah, and again, the elbow, really popular spot to snipe, because you can get angles on all the players that are at blue base, especially when they come out of the window or go to the fountain. The one thing you have to be worried about is someone coming down from below, or at least spawning on the cave. So a really nice job of spreading out for EG, taking a different angle because he doesn't see anyone. Spectre landing a nice body shot down, doesn't result in a kill, and he has a player over there in the cuts trying to get shots on him. That's going to be, I believe, Stellars, but he has Roy over there to help him. So nice communication coming out from EG. Suspector needs, again, to take some different angles. I don't really agree with this charge. He does have the sniper still in hand, so I'd like to see him putting it to use over towards the elbow or the flag.
And he's trying to hit the no scope. Does pick up a body shot here on Denoxide, but not going to be enough to take him out. So let's take a look through Eco's eyes. Denoxide still has that sniper, so we'll actually go jump on board with him as well. Let's see what he's doing.
Yeah, Denoxide really starting to step it up. Tied 33-33 now. You know, he did fall off the map, so they could potentially have 34. So I'm going to look for that if this does go down to 50-49. Never, you know, want to fall off the map, especially when the game's so close. But at least he's stepping it up, playing a lot better than he did yesterday. Some nice shots on Lunchbox, who's trying to make his way towards the scatter shot like I was talking about. Sometimes the best thing to do when you're on spawn trap is just to run towards that scatter shot, try to flank and leave your teammates at the opposite base and try to make your way over towards red. But Denoxide is aware of that, and I really like how he's playing, but I would like to see him get some sort of high ground. Bouncing the scatter shot off the wall, if you guys didn't know, you can bounce the scatter shot off the wall and it will do some serious damage. So he's just kind of checking, testing the waters, seeing if anyone's over there, but it looks like all of Evil Geniuses went towards the sneaky and the back couches towards the pyramid. So a really nice, well-orchestrated push coming out from the side of EG to try to get snipe control.
And Suspector, a good stabilization in the air to make sure he picks up that kill. That's going to put Scattershot now in his hands as well. But just like that, Team Liquid back with the lead. This is a really back and forth game. Lots of lead changes.
Yeah, really impressed to see Liquid weather the storm coming from EG, get it together, and start getting this lead back, because the way this game started, it looked like it was going to be a steak dinner, but now it could go either way. Spartan has the sniper, so let's try to find what Spartan's doing. He's laying down the shots, and like I was saying, he needs to be the player to step up and go big. So let's check out the stats and see who's technically going bid for Liquid. It's pretty even at this point, but Spartan with 6 deaths, which is exactly what you want to do in a Slayer. Try to get as many kills as possible and keep those deaths below 10, because that's a solid stat line.
And this is a really interesting strategy. We see all members of Liquid just hanging out over here by Rocket side. They do have somewhat control of blue base, and now you've got Denoxide pushing over to red. So all of Evil Geniuses now essentially may start getting collapsed on here at Snipe. They don't really hold any of the or any of the bases.
This is a really good push from Lunchbox. This will be a huge kill if you can pick it up. Spartan landing that body shot. Rockets are coming up. Eco is going to be pushing towards that rocket. Stellar cleans up Lunchbox. However, Snipe down does take out Eco, who picked up the rockets. So 2 kills going over to EG. Looks like he's going to try to bait these rockets. He ends up just grabbing them, gets the carbine instead, and that's going to be Denoxide with the rockets. So all of the power weapon control coming from the side of Liquid, but they're in pretty bad positions because EG's trying to collapse from top Snipe.
And Spartan putting some damage down on the 2 players there at Snipe Tower, hitting a body shot and then a nice splinter nade he throws off as well. Basically pushes Evil Geniuses back and allows him to escape with the sniper rifle.
Big snipe.
And 45 to 43, you got Sniper in the hands of Liquid, you got Rockets in the hands of Evil Geniuses. We'll stay on board with Spartan and see if he can close this one out.
Yeah, the key is who's going to be able to pick up more kills and who's also with the power weapons, but who's going to be able to limit the dumb deaths. You see Roy getting hit with a splinter nade. You got to just be careful. You want to have your guy with the rockets for the side of Evil Geniuses pick up the kills. If you're Team Liquid, you want Spartan to do all the work. Just support him. Just fill out the areas on the map that he needs to. Maybe bait a little bit. Just make sure you don't give up any dumb deaths with only 3 minutes left.
And Suspector picking up another rocket kill, so Denoxide gets taken out, and Snipe down. He had a sniper in his hands as well. That might very well determine this game, that very headshot.
Yeah, that was huge. Also keep in mind, remember, Denoxide fell off the map, so 47 to 47 could have gone pretty much either way. Spartan just sitting in the back. I'm not sure if Suspector has any more rockets. I believe I counted 3, so he may have one more, or he could be out. That's Snipe down, picking up a kill on Stellar. Lunchbox didn't see Spartan crouching behind the rock. However, there are 2 players, and Roy coming up with the cleanup. Evil Geniuses only needs 1 more kill, Kyle.
And that was unbelievably unfortunate for Team Liquid. He had the sniper. He tried to commit and challenge to pick up the one shot. What he didn't know is there were 3 members of Evil Geniuses there. Now they have so much power weapon control. Look for the game. Oh! And Denoxide barely staying alive there. Just kidding. He, in fact, dies as well. Not by the rocket, but by a plasma grenade. Just overall, fantastic play from Evil Geniuses, especially considering they were down so much to get this one started.
Yeah, and Denoxide really not in the best position when someone still has rockets. You kind of want to just back off at that point. Maybe all sit in the flag and just set up and crouch. You know, falling off the map was a big key as well. 50 to 47. Evil Geniuses really clutching it when they needed to. I really look at Suspector, though, with that 15 and 8. More or less about how he played it with the rockets. Remember, I think I counted 3 rocket kills, and I said he may possibly have 1 more in the chamber. Well, guess what? He did, and he used that to weaken that guy over there in the cuts and then throw the nade. The plasma nade did hit, and that's the final kill. So if he didn't, get any of those rocket kills, then we're looking at possibly, if Snipe Down didn't even kill the guy going for rockets, we're looking at something completely different.
He picked up a lot of kills, kind of reminding me of Snakebite at the end of that CLG Envious series, where he had the rockets and essentially racked up a couple different kills to change the outcome of that game. I would have liked to see, like you said, you got to play to your advantages. Team Liquid had the sniper. You don't want to get into up-close battles and be places where there's lots of area on the map that they can shoot those rockets to pick up the kills. So kind of unfortunately, another misplay. Liquid showing that they're an extremely talented team, can come out and dominate just about anybody, but they have to maintain that momentum and consistency throughout the entire game.
Yeah, just some really minor mistakes, but some really good pushes from EG. Roy coming around the corner, catching that guy off guard. That was Spartan with the sniper, getting that double kill. That's when the momentum really started to shift, and then it was kind of back and forth from there.
I couldn't agree more there. Let's take a look at some of the replays here from this game. And man, like, it was so close to get it started. A quick pull away by Team Liquid, and then just some, and at this point, it's almost characteristic mistakes by them.
Yeah, 16 to 5, getting this kill, that's 3 dead. They had such an opportunity. Now 19 to 5, you can see they were in the lead, but now look, now it's 21 to 2. So an absolutely insane run from EG. I thought they were going to just continue to run it, but as you said, like Liquid, they don't give up. They have some fight in them. They definitely proved it in this game. I'm really curious to see. Obviously, they stacked up really well against CLG and CTF Truth. They're not looking too bad in Coliseum when it comes to the Slayer here against EG. Game number 3 is going to be Coliseum CTF as well. So expecting another really close game. And again, this is really when it comes down to Team Liquid. What do you do mentally here? Do you give up? You say, I'm in the last place here, I'm 1 in 10, or do I want to fight and show these teams in the Opus circuit, in the Legendary bracket, all of my fans watching at home for Team Liquid, they want to go and give a show here. They don't want to just fall 3-0.
It's hard to argue anything other than this is Liquid's best game type. They've won this game type more than they've won any other game type. In fact, they've won this game type, essentially as much as they've won and all their other games combined almost. They're
Yeah, so
3
are in
and
this
1.
series. Yeah, and EG 50-50 here. They've gone 2-2 throughout the HCS Pro League. So again, I think that if they would have won this Coliseum Slayer game, that would have gave them so much momentum going into this CTF flag game, but they need to put the pass behind them. It is Eden Strongholds after that, so I would just really focus on winning this Slayer Coliseum game and kind of taking it from there, because their record's, really not that bad. They win games, it's just that they have a really hard time winning the actual series.
Couldn't agree with you anymore. But we do have the players ready here on Coliseum CTF. Of course, 3 captures to win. Of course, we just witnessed a Slayer on this map, so if you're unfamiliar, you definitely know kind of the layout now, where the weapons are spawning, and exactly how powerful power weapon control can be with those giant swings going back and forth in favor of each different lineup.
Now the thing is snipe control matters so much more in CTF than it does in Slayer. Obviously really important in Slayer, but it holds a little bit more water, so it looks like Suspector's going to be trying to fight Spartan over there. He does get the kill on a Spartan. More players from Liquid coming, but Snipedown has the help, so he's probably going to be able to grab that sniper rifle. Meanwhile, Lunchbox trading with Eco, so all of the weapons kind of down in the grass there. It's going to be a fight in the grass. Looks like Roy's trying to make his way over there. He will grab the scatter shot, still probably looking for those rockets. He grabs both of them, has 2 left in the chamber, so no long-range weapons coming from Roy. Looks like he's going to use these rockets onto Stellar. Another player coming out with the Spartan charge, so I do like that play from, I believe that was Spartan coming in and, just trading with the rocket guy.
Yeah, and he ended up giving him a suicide there, so nothing wrong with that. Now we do have Sniper in the hands of Snipedown, who gets taken out as well. So we'll take a look at Stellar. He just picks up a quick double kill, and he's going to grab this weapon.
Yeah, he could have continued to push his advantage by going into the cave and kind of choking the spawns, but this is probably the second best place to snipe. You can really get angles on those guys trying to run from the window out over towards the cave side, but you do need someone to potentially just get into that cave and just choke the spawns. It's really important that you control that side of the map. So EG doing their best to kind of push out, gets a couple of picks, and once they get that number advantage, you know they're going to charge out.
Oh, and he does hit one shot, but Snipedown with the perfect shots on Stellar, takes him out and gets a reward for it, grabs his sniper back.
Yeah, he has it in his name. He has snipe in his name, so he smells it when it's sitting there laying on the map. Let's see the angles that he takes, because one of the things about Snipedown is he's always taking power positions, and he's very patient when he snipes. You see him kind of wait for the headshot. A lot of players will go for the body shots and twitch reflexes. I've never seen any player wait for the headshot more than Snipedown.
He definitely takes his time to go ahead and line those up. He is somebody that's not afraid to run across the map to grab the sniper rifle if it's down, but he always puts it to good use.
Yeah, and this is a pretty powerful spot to snipe again, sitting at the elbow, but he needs to kind of get in a little bit better position. I know that he's baiting the rockets, but he needs to be a little bit more objective-oriented here. He's the only player for his team, though, to have a line of sight on these rockets, so as soon as I guarantee that this guy does get picked off, he's going to try to get some sort of different angle, but it looks like he does get a nice snipe onto Eco, who was over there in the fountain, and Spartan a little afraid to go for those rockets, maybe just trying to bait them instead. He gets picked off, so now Snipedown knows it's safe to push. Let's see if he ends up wasting the ammo there, so shocked that he didn't go for the combo instead of letting him go for those rockets. Now Spawners on the elbow. He could push up a little bit more. He could fly into the window with the rockets. Looks like he's going to elect to choke the spawn, so he needs to call that out to his teammates. Meanwhile, everyone needs to push in, and they could potentially run this over there any which way they want. They could run it towards the elbow, they can run it towards snipe side, and it looks like they're going to run it towards snipe side.
And having these rockets now with the flag already being run is a great advantage, but he drops almost instantly. Flag is still out, however, you can see it in the hands of Suspector, and he just puts in that second flag capture as well.
Yeah, so liking the plays coming out from Snipedown, he wasted 3 of the rockets and tried to waste the last one, and that's always something that you want to see. When you're going down, you at least want to try to waste the weapons, or at least jump off the map with them. So not jump off the map like that without any weapons. So Eco falling off right there, but Snipedown making his way over towards the cave. Nice job thrusting, but some beautiful team shots across the map coming from Liquid.
Sounds like Eco is listening to you and heard jump off the map, so he trusted your judgment, Tom, and he went ahead and did exactly that. However, now Sniper in the hands of Stellar, and he's taking it to the cave.
Yeah, down 2-0 in this game, down 2-0 in the series. You have to do something with the sniper, but Lunchbox says no, picks up the scatter shot kill and gets that double. So really aggressive play coming from EG. They smell blood. They want this series to end. They don't want Liquid taking any games from them, and they want to just enjoy their weekend. This is a really must-win series for them. If they lose this, they are going to be mathematically out of the playoffs. They need a little bit of help from the other teams ahead of them, Allegiance and Renegades, but they also kind of need to win out for the remainder of the HCS Pro League. That's going to be this series and then 2 more series next week.
And with these rockets, Roy is taking them back over to Snipe Tower. We've seen him do this once already this game. So he is doing extremely well, kind of controlling these power weapons. He gets taken out. Several members of Team Liquid now collapsing here. You got Stellar trying to contest Snipe Down, who's hiding with the sniper as well, but he is going to drop. Let's go ahead and take a look at Stellar. And Snipe Down, it doesn't look like he jumped that weapon off the map in that position. That's kind of the play I'd like to see.
Yeah, Denoxide picking up a double. I do like how long Snipe Down stayed alive. Maybe he stayed alive so long that he thought, oh, maybe I can actually live through this. Either way, I do agree with what you're talking about, throwing the snipe actually off the map and making sure that Spartan doesn't get it. But however, Suspector is going to take out Spartan at the same time. So a trade-in kills, and Lunchbox over here making his way towards Snipe, gets taken out of no shields. That's going to be Eco and Denoxide double-teaming him to get the kill. And Roy, this is a really popular spot, just sitting there crouching on the flag. They can't see you when they're coming up the fountain, and you just use the radar to your advantage. However, once the Spectre gets that pick, Roy realizes that he needs to push out, and now he comes back to try to defend because Eco comes in with a double from the window. Gonna wait for his teammates to kind of get some angles and push around the rest of the map. However, here comes the popular defensive setup coming from EG. They're one of the best at just setting up, playing defense, getting the picks, and then pushing out.
They pick that up. You know, you see it so well by by Counter Logic Gaming as well. Roy with a great thrust to get behind that player, grabs a kill there.
Triple.
Grabs a triple, so Eco missing that last scatter shot and gets taken out. And then the flag being pulled by Lunchbox, who ultimately drops as well. All 4 members of Team Liquid up, not in a numbers advantage here for them. And the flag still on Team Liquid's side of the 50-yard line here. So look for this one to get returned.
Yeah, see, the thing is Lunchbox got the flag really far, and sometimes when the flag's that far, Roy's in a little bit of position, well, maybe I should sit here kind of in the middle of where I'm at. Maybe if we get a kill or I get a kill, I can go for the touch. Realistically, he could have potentially got some more map control there. But either way, Lunchbox had the right mindset. A lot of people getting kills for the side of Evil Geniuses. Roy getting that triple, and he pulls the flag. Now Lunchbox on top of those rockets, so he's definitely focusing on the objective, definitely focusing on controlling the power weapons, and I really like the way that Evil Geniuses is coming out hot after that really close game too.
And I really want to go on board with Lunchbox and see what he's been up to, but every time I go over there, he does in fact get taken out as well. But you know, at least picking up a trade, so being aggressive for his team, doing what needs to be done. As soon as Roy's taken out, we'll go take a look at Spartan. He does have that sniper, but of course he is going to die as soon as I go to him. That's going to put it back in the hands of Snipe Down, and of course we've seen just how deadly he is with this.
The problem that I see is Liquid does a really great job of actually picking up kills. However, no one's really dirty when it comes to the objective. No one sacrifices their life. No one just charges in and goes for the flag, and they just kind of go in there one by one. You have to charge as a team. You have to be on top of things. You can't just sit there top snipe. If everyone just sits there top snipe and top rockets, no one's going to actually get the flag. So I think that's one of the weaknesses of Team Liquid. They don't have someone like Commonly. They don't have someone like Ryanoob, who just constantly is pushing in like Snakebite, getting towards the flag and just doing serious work. And all these slays for Liquid, it doesn't mean anything.
You know, I'd say Spartan, if anybody, kind of falls into that category, but I feel like with how much Team Liquid has been struggling, he's trying to adjust his playstyle to be much more of a slayer. You know, if your teammates aren't picking up the kills, if you get behind the enemy team to try and grab the objective, they're just going to all turn around and go right for you. So ultimately, when you start falling behind other teams and you start not having as much success as you previously were, it results in the players changing their playstyles.
And this is the closest we've seen Liquid to actually getting control. Denoxide doing a really nice job getting the scatter shot in the cave, fighting the Brown brothers, just sitting there, and ends up getting a kill onto Lunchbox with the help from Eco. So that flag still is down. Someone does get the touch finally, and Denoxide doing a great job. If he could have killed Suspector, that would have definitely secured the cap. However, Suspector is still alive. Let's see where they end up bringing this flag. I like this route. Stellar ends up killing Suspector, so I like that he decided not to bring that towards the window because he would have definitely died there. Instead, that's the first cap from Liquid. This one is 2-1.
And there's still plenty of time left for them to bring this back. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. They just need to pick up one capture and potentially send this to overtime. Great snipe. And ultimately 2 members being taken out. Lines up that headshot, gets a hat trick, and now opportunity for Liquid to grab control again.
Yeah, and Spartan working over here with Eco on the bait and switch. Ends up trading over there with Suspector. So that could have been a pretty big kill because the slays are coming for the side of Liquid. They also have the weapons, and that's 3 players for Evil Geniuses over there by the cave area. If they could collapse on this, that would be great for Team Liquid. Liquid. However, Denoxide gets taken out while he's running the flag, and also some more defense coming out from the side of EG. But everyone from Team Liquid flooding in here. If Stellar can stay alive, he'll help from coming from behind, but he gets taken out by a nice nade by Roy. EG should be able to return this flag and reset the map.
And look at the slays, pretty even across the board here. Denoxide does escape with the new sniper rifle, has several, or only used 2 shots here so far, trying to line up some no-scopes. Don't really like that as much. He didn't really have too much of an opportunity to really get away with that weapon, but just like that, they were slaying, Team Liquid was slaying Evil Geniuses in their own base, and it only took a moment for it to be completely turned around.
The thing is when you're setting up defensively like that, and then one of your players dies without weakening anybody, that sets the rest of your team so far behind. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to using that sniper rifle, because if you don't hit the headshot, if you don't hit the body shot, you've technically pretty much just done nothing besides let the other team use a couple of their bullets, so they're a little bit low on ammo. But other than that, I would like to see at least try to go for a melee, at least try to stay alive a little bit longer, just so one of your teammates can finish off the kills, because if you give EG an advantage like that, they're just going to continue to swarm your base.
And Snipe Down turns around, challenges Eco, picks up a perfect on him from across the map for ultimately a double kill. Suspector now doing some work here on Liquid as well. He's still alive, grabbing the new and potentially last flag here for Evil Genius's great flag run so far. And just as I say that, he starts choking.
Way to jinx him. So Suspector, trying to get that flag out, maybe could have just tossed it and just stayed alive. Instead, it's kind of in an awkward position for EG, because now it's kind of in the middle of the map. The good thing for EG, though, is Roy does have rockets, so he can continue to bait that. That's going to be a double kill from Roy. It could have been a delayed triple and possible overkill, but Roy needs to stop looking for this last kill and just make his way over there towards the elbow and try to run the flag. I get that he's helping his teammates and things like that, but I feel like he could have at least pushed in, got some sort of advantage on the elbow. Either way, in a pretty good position with the scatter shot. However, he could have potentially been over there at the flag.
And that rocket kill, I think he killed his brother as well, so unofficial triple kill there on his end. Snipe Down, great shots as well. He is shooting a lot better today than he was yesterday. He must have, I know he was on the forums. I saw him post a couple times there. A few maybe, sad tweets coming out from his end. But take a look at this kid's sexy stats that he's got here. 4.77 KDA, one of the best fantasy players to have on your team.
Yeah, second ranked in fantasy, only behind Hugh, showing that he still has the slaying power that he always had. And when you have players like Lunchbox and Roy getting your back running in the objective, it makes your job so much easier. However, a really nice flagpole coming out from Liquid. If they can stop Lunchbox from getting this return, this is pretty much their main chance. It won't go to overtime if the flag is pulled out. They actually have to capture this flag in the next 20 seconds. So somebody has to step up huge and make their way over towards the base and just beeline it. It's almost virtually impossible unless they pull this in the next 5 seconds. And Snipe Down knows that he just needs to grab the flag and just play a little bit aggressive. And this one's going to pretty much be over. Looks like this series is going to go to EG. Nice fight from Liquid on the Coliseum games, but just couldn't really put it together.
And look at them just knowing exactly what needs to be done, sitting on their flag, extending the game out till it runs out of time. And the Slays were really close, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago. And then it was really just the EG show, and Snipe Down even going on a tear to prevent any kind of opportunities for Liquid. And what I'm most impressed by is look at Suspector. Suspector, the newest addition to Evil Genius, is really coming out strong. And watching everybody else's screen this game, they're all playing extremely well. At 28 kills out of him, he must have been doing some dirty things.
Well, you know what? He doesn't have an EG logo, so I'm a little confused why Eco has the EG logo. What do you do when you're playing on a team and your teammate is supporting the other team? I get it, the skins are awesome, but come on, man, that's like a Kevin Durant move.
There is the NBA, don't get me started on them. That's a whole nother conversation at this point. But yeah, you do see that Eco with the Evil Geniuses logo and Suspector rocking out his own little personal one there as well. Pretty exciting stuff though. Evil Geniuses, if we saw this kind of effort and coordination from them yesterday, it could have been a completely different story.
They're still a little too slow. I don't think if they played like that against, for example, against CLG, if Evil Geniuses played that same way against CLG, it would have been a little bit completely different story, and they would have got punished a little bit more heavily. But let's take a look at the highlights. Team Liquid hangs individually when it comes to EG. It's just that, again, I don't think they have the objective mindset that they need to have when it comes to just getting in there and getting some pulls. Sometimes you don't need to have, all 3 dead, all 4 dead, have complete map control in order to be able to pull these flags and capture these flags. And you can just take a look at some of these players, like I said, like Commonly, like Rhino, like Ninja yesterday, for example, in that Fathom. All you need is 1 or 2 dead. And once that opportunity is there, you have sprint, you could just use those Halo 5 mechanics to just run that flag extremely fast.
And just overall, the Rockets, I feel like, were by far the biggest determining factor of this game. We just saw so many of them, especially out of Evil Geniuses, Suspector, and Roy that game. Kind of playing much more of a factor here than Sniper Rifle.
Yeah, even though I think that the Sniper Rifle is really valuable, I put more value on the actual Rockets, especially in CTF. I always believe that in CTF, if you have the Rockets, you can really just communicate with that guy and then just really work together with one guy running the flag, because the way that I see it, since it's not touch return, all you got to do is have one guy willing to sacrifice his life while you have the Rockets, and then he goes and pulls that flag and you just work with him. Maybe he tosses it out, whatever. People are going to get flustered once they see that. They're not going to know where to go. Do I return the flag? It adds so much pressure to the other team. So I really think that Taui did a really nice job this series, helping get the power ups, but also getting the power weapons that they needed. Liquid did get the sniper in their hands a little bit much in that Coliseum game that EG would have, liked to take it out of their hands. But I think I would trade Rockets in a CTF game any day of the week.
And we do have Lunchbox here from Evil Geniuses now joining us for a Skype interview. Jason, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on, guys?
All right, well,
Hey, what's up?
Congratulations on that win. Nice 3-0 coming out strong here today. Were you kind of surprised by the series at all, as the games 2 and 3 were actually relatively close?
Yeah, I think Liquid's had a fair amount of close games. They've taken some games off some good teams this season. They've just had, I don't know, their record's pretty unfortunate because they're, I think, more talented than their record shows. But yeah, I don't think that, they're all individually good. They're just a team that's not meshing well. Probably similar circumstances to our team. So
I was just going to say, I understand. We've seen the, forum posts. We've seen, tweets and videos from Taui and the squad. What is it like being on Evil Geniuses right now? Your backs are against the wall. A lot of things need to fall in place for you guys to make the finals. What's that like?
yeah, we screwed ourselves in this season. We lost matches that we shouldn't have lost or couldn't lose, and our fate is completely out of our hands now. Even if we win every match now, we still need help. So it is what it is. This is not, our team just hasn't meshed or just hasn't worked together like we hope. So it is what it is at this point, and we're still giving it our all, obviously, for our last 2 matches and this match as well. But yeah, our fate's not in our hands at all, really.
Now, I'm curious, have you guys looked back at, the team change and feel like it was still to this date, the right team change? Or have you guys even considered about making a change after this? Or are you just strictly focused on doing your best and still trying to make the playoffs? Where is your guys' mindset at?
Yeah, with Hammy, a team change had to happen, so it was either we were going to part ways with Hammy or completely break up the team. So there wasn't really many options there. We practiced every single day leading up to Worlds and got worse. So it certainly wasn't Hammy's fault, but it was just us 4 just didn't work too well together. And unfortunately, we found that again where all 4 of us, I think, are pretty good individually, but we're just not meshing well. We'll have full control and we'll just give it right back, and that just happens so often with this team, and that's why we've lost so many close games. So yeah, it's just been an unfortunate season, and we're not thinking about anything, I don't think, at this point, and just trying to finish the season strong, and then we'll see what happens. But
yeah, some minor mistakes, for example, that I see you guys in Strongholds Plaza, for example. You have the 2 setup, you have the nest, and you have bottom middle, and then you guys will send a guy into yard. But you guys are all about the numbers, and you guys don't necessarily do that when you have the numbers and kind of force it. So are you guys actually looking at the theater? How are you guys practicing, and what's your preparation like?
Yeah, we've watched film, we've done everything, but I don't know. Sometimes habits are habits, and they're tough to change. So that's kind of been the moral of the story for our team, and yeah, we make a lot of costly mistakes, and yeah, it is what it is. We're doing what we can, and we watch film, we practice 3 or 4 days a week, and then play pro league matches 2 days during the week. So yeah, we're just doing our best and seeing what happens in the next 2 matches.
And so what was like the biggest differences between EG yesterday and EG today? What was overnight like here coming out so strong now?
Well, I don't want to take anything from Renegades. They played pretty good yesterday, obviously. So uh, we obviously weren't at our best, and that's kind of been the moral of our story for this whole season. Is that just pro league matches a lot of times we're playing fine individually, but our teamwork's just not there. We have to slay and slay and slay again to get flag pulls and stuff like that. You just can't win if that's the case. You got to be getting flag pulls when you get 2 or 3 dead, and then starting to run it as you get those kills, or else the enemy team's going to spawn up and sprint to your base, and then you're at a standoff. So constant mistakes like that are what kill us, and we made a lot of those against Renegades yesterday, especially in the Fathom Flag game. We had a couple epic 2-2 ties against them, and then ended up losing the third one, but yeah, I mean, just little mistakes that just build up or just what's been costing us huge.
Yeah, we didn't get to chat about it yesterday, as of course, but give us a little bit what it's like when you have so many replays and such a long, extended series. What is that like? How much of a toll does that take on you guys as players?
I don't know that it takes a toll. It was frustrating because I feel like we were playing really well game 1, and we let it slip through our fingers, and then game 2 we played pretty well. And game 2 I think was the game that I got. They killed our flag runner at silo, and it was literally a second from returning, and I spawned silo to get the touch, and we ended up capping the flag because of that. So even like that was a pretty lucky flag cap. So game 1 was our game to win. We were playing pretty darn well on that, and I think we outslayed them on that game, and yeah, we just didn't pull it out. And that was honestly the swing game that kind of killed us. Obviously, we lost the series, I think, over that, really.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum that can happen there is just, such a big swing, especially in Halo 5. That's such a momentum-based game. But, of course, thank you so much, Jason, for joining us here via Skype. Always appreciate you taking time out of your guys' day there. Congratulations on the very convincing win, and I wish you and the rest of the squad the best of luck here heading over to finals.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with the rest of your cast.
Thank you.
Such a class act. I always love those guys. Some of the best people I've ever met in the Halo community, him and his brother and family in general.
Yeah, and he said it best, we did this to ourselves. We play really well in scrims, we look really strong, and then we come out here and we make minor mistakes. And, he said, he didn't necessarily say it in these words, but they're just a little too slow when it comes to getting into the objective and just being on top of the spawns. I'm not sure if it's communication, but at least they're going and they're trying to work on it. And, everyone wants to see, them go back and be in that tip-top form, but it just doesn't seem like they're really meshing like they wanted to when they originally made the team change.
And of course, if you are at home watching and you like what you see and even want to participate yourselves, make sure you go and sign up on the open circuit. Of course, the link here is at the bottom of your screen. That's esl.gg/HCSNA open. You'll be able to compete and, maybe even make it on stage, compete against Lunchbox, or have your games casted by the likes of T-Squared and myself as well. Of course, this does not do it for the day. We've still got a lot of matches in store, so don't go anywhere, and we will be right back after this.